Did you battle through a tough shooting night and still find ways to help your team win?
Yeah, I was just trying to be there, being physical, making screens, good screens, shoot it when I'm open. Defense rebounds, I think, in the fourth quarter and overtime, our defense was really good, and I think that's why we won the game.
What were they doing that were making things difficult for you?
They're handsy, they're all over. You know, I mean, I miss 10 threes. I had 8 threes. They're aggressive, they're physical, they're handsy, they're in the string, they're playing passing lanes, you know. I mean, I don't know what they're doing because if I know, probably I'm not going to do having those kind of mistakes. So I need to figure out what they're doing. So you know, basically I was the worst player on the court today, but we won the game, and that's the most important.
You mentioned the overtime. How would you describe your guys' execution in that period?
I mean, AJ had a really big three. AJ had a really big free throws. Jamal was amazing the whole game. Mike had a big not corner, like 45 degrees in right slot area three. So it was a really team effort. But I think defense was something that was stood out the most.
Nikola, how frustrating was it for you today? I mean, not often that anybody can say that you were the worst player on the court today. How frustrating was it for you? Because like some of them like was in and out, and some of them was wide open looks, and I couldn't make it. So you know, it happens. You know, I was frustrated, but I tried to stay. I tried to stay in the game and do the little things that.
You always downplay when we talk about these things that haven't ever been done, you know, big nights, 40, 20, all that. So when you have a night that you've never had, 0 for 10 from 3, is that easy to not really focus?
No, I had those nights. I had 0 for 10 for 3, definitely.
Well, maybe not here.
I think I had.
I
had.
Maybe. But they don't happen too often, so is it easy to not dwell on those either?
I think it happens, you know, those nights happens, and then the guys that were training me, the guys that were lifting me up, and you know, I was open. I mean, I gotta shoot it, you know. So it's not something that I'm kind of proud of myself, but I still keep shooting even if the ball was not going in.
You mentioned Jamal. How impactful was he on both sides?
Everywhere, not just offensively, you know, controlling the game, finishing, shooting. He had a big three, so. He was all over the place, and he did an amazing job tonight, and he's the reason why we won the game.
Game stats, fellas. Look at the field goal percentage for Oklahoma City. 40 of 104.
Yeah, I mean, that's just what they do. They get possession. And that's another reason why the defensive effort, Scotty, was so good for the Nuggets. You have to survive 104 shots. That's a lot of defense.
That's a lot of shots. But look what the others did, because Joker's 0 for 10, so take that off the three-pointer. They're 16 for 30.
Yeah.
So they made some key shots. And you know what? Not in the 30 range that we're used to, but you did beat him in the assist game, and I think that's big. Listen, that game one, and I know Joker had 42, right? 42 and 22 in game one, but that was still felt like a team win, right? They still needed others. Big shot by Aaron Gordon. This was a team win. This was. You know, when the best player in the world, as you say, can have an off night and you win going away in overtime. That's a big win, man.
I'm glad you said that, because the perception, and we've seen it many times, is if Joker doesn't play well, the Nuggets don't win. And I think the other players on this team, guys who have won a championship, are telling the rest of the world, hey, man, we can play too. And they've had to carry the load. They did it in Game 7 against the Clippers, and they did it again tonight.
Yeah, I just think that ever since David Adelman took over the balance of the scoring, there's been a lot more of that in terms of more players being trusted to quite frankly be aggressive and look for their offense. And when you do that over time, you can get performances like this where you have 4 players. The starters scored 98 of the 113.
That's big. Now I don't want to lose sight of this right here. This is the NBA. This is the Western Conference semifinals. And we're talking about a guy having a bad game that went 20, 16, and 6.
Yeah.
and he had a tough game, right? There's guys that played a lot of years in the NBA that say, I'd like to play bad at
love
halftime.
to get 20s.
Okay. All right. Be honest. We're going to give away some more T-shirts. Peyton Watson is on his way up here. Be honest though. If the Nuggets were to lose this game tonight, is the whistle a topic of conversation?
Yes.
Why is that?
Well, he's not going to say it because he loves referees. He loves referees. I hate referees. Yes.
I don't know what to say. I don't know what
That was a very average crew at best. Yeah. Although I will say this.
A lot of attention. You just cut in behind that, and that's kind of basketball 101.
But you see when Gordon hits it, this is what makes Oklahoma City so good defensively. Still had 3 dudes contested.
Yeah.
Which is why he had to dunk that.
Yeah.
way, right?
He had to dunk and that may get blocked.
Scotty, what I'm witnessing in these playoffs, as physical as it's gotten, this is the closest thing I've seen to 80s basketball. It hasn't been this physical. Is it me, or do you remember playoff basketball being this physical as we've seen in this playoff run?
You know what I think I've seen kind of NBA wide is, quite honestly, a little bit of inconsistent refereeing. Because when you watched the Detroit-New York Knicks series, like those two teams beat each other up. Like really beat each other up. And, you know, at times, the Nuggets and the Clippers, they were allowed to kind of beat each other up a little bit as well. You know, the last game, Oklahoma City did a lot of fouling of Nikola Jokic, and that was physical. I think it is definitely more physical.
I hate to interrupt you, but we got our man. Well, you don't need an ovation because you already got one. Hastings going to are you going to fall asleep back there?
I'm the angel on his shoulder.
First of all,
keep shooting threes. Keep shooting threes.
Peyton, I got to start here. You guys are clutch, man. It's just a clutch basketball team, and the heart you displayed tonight. Do you even surprise yourselves the way you come out and win games like this?
I don't think so. I think everybody kind of expects it of one another now. We got some big-time players on the team. We got guys who've been in these situations before, and I think we got one of the clutchest teams in the league, pound for pound. So I'm just super proud of everybody who stepped up tonight. It was a group win.
Peyton, I want to talk about defense. You had 2 blocks tonight among a lot of things, a couple of 3-pointers, all 5 rebounds.
That block on Chet.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, block dunk on Chet.
Yeah, exactly right. But you helped this team to 38%. Shea was 7 of 22. Just talk about what you guys did defensively that was giving them so many problems.
I mean, it was a big-time defensive game. We got guys who stepped up, CB, Jamal, Mike. I think our defense in overtime was amazing. We held them to 2 or less points in overtime, which has only been done a handful of times. So I think for our team, this was a huge win for our confidence and execution.
What was the key defensively? What were you trying to accomplish there to kind of get them off rhythm?
I think just making them do things that are uncomfortable for them, you know? When you let any team in this league play their game and play comfortable and play confident, it's easy for guys to hit shots and it's easy for guys to make plays. But when you make people uncomfortable and make them do things that they don't want to do, it's a tougher ball game, and that's exactly what we wanted, especially in front of our fans.
You got to play with Nikola Jokic for the last few years. Big fellas carried you guys for a lot of games here and there. He didn't have his best game, at least shooting the basketball tonight. Kind of feel good because this was a team victory that you guys did this together. And what does that say confidence-wise for you guys going forward in this series?
It's huge for us. Like I said downstairs to some of my teammates, you know, we'll never see a game like this from Nikola again where he goes 0 for 10.
You might give me some tips.
Yeah, just a few probably, huh?
Yeah.
But we'll never see a game like this from him again. But it was great to see contributions from other guys step up, make big plays, and it's going to do a lot for our confidence moving forward.
Peyton, first of all, here's some highlights of you tonight. That's a big
The spinner.
Bang.
Chris Marlowe, the